Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the Armory. Welcome to X. We're just on those two platforms tonight. I don't feel this is a full-time sports network production, in my personal opinion. Right. So, welcome to the first hard truth, and it is regarding who is to blame for this season. So, what I've done. I have decided to go through the 5 transfer windows that we've had under Arteta and the 5 seasons and broke them down into, I think there's 29 different categories, and assess them. So, yeah, we're going to see who is to blame for where we are and why we haven't won a significant trophy. And I do say significant. Yes, we've won 2 community shields. But we need to be doing better. And we need to nitpick and work out where it's not going right. So that's what we're going to do. Right. Big up to Brenny, saying evening PB, evening to you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Big up to Temmie, saying hello to Bran. Yeah, don't even start me on this. I'll be honest, I kept BRF out of this transfer talk because it's just painful. There's a couple on there that's painful. I've had to talk about Balogun. We will talk about Balogun in a bit. But yeah, I'm gonna keep BRF out of this conversation because it's painful for me due to the fact I love BRF, as everyone knows how much I love BRF. Everyone is at fault. Arteta the ban for signing Havertz and Fabio, Ato for failing on January, and Kim Jong Gronke and his dad for not reining Arteta's excesses. Well, we're going to break down the transfer windows. I honestly do feel that people are going to be very upset when I go through it, I'll be honest. So prepare yourself. City, I have no idea, mate. I'll be honest. Are they? I'll be honest, it'd delight me because Plymouth are one of my championship teams. So I've literally no idea. I don't follow them, as everyone knows. I don't follow City at all. Can't stand them. They're drawing 1-1. O'Reilly scored an equaliser for City. So, yeah. Big up to Chris. Hope you're doing well, my friend. There was meant to be a question I was meant to ask you, and I can't remember what it was. What was it? One, have you seen the Sauber wing? No, not the wing. The DRS thing. Have you seen that wiggling? Because that made me laugh. Was there something else? I'm sure there was something else that I was meant to ask you. But yeah, I'll think of it. Yes, big up to Adam O'Rourke. Yes, there is truth behind it. We have offered Kimmich a contract. Like I've said to other people, I don't think it will pan out because I do know Bayern well enough to know that they will come back with a good offer. And I'm sure eventually Kimmich will re-sign for Bayern Munich. Now, obviously, if Bayern Munich don't come back with an offer, then obviously it's down to 2 other clubs, one being us. So it's possible. But I'll be honest, just the way that I know Munich work, I don't see it happening at the moment. You were right about Carlisle ended up winning 1-0 at Barrow. Congratulations, they are paid to win games and score that chance. Yeah, exactly. But I'm glad you got the win. I know that things are quite tight at the bottom now, so I know you're playing Walsall next, so that's going to be a really hard game. I know that much. But yeah, I'll probably ignore the Walsall game and hopefully you get points in the next few games. Yeah, it's 1-1 City. But I was at the Bonotto effect or not. I saw it. I was like, what the hell? It was so funny. I'll be honest. The reason I've done scuba is because there's information you're going to be given tonight, which is not going to be impressive. So I'm kind of doing like a therapy session. So just prepare yourselves because you will have to see players being mentioned that you won't want to remember. So just prepare yourself. So that is the perfect time to start talking about the transfer windows. Right. So we're going to talk about the first one. Now, this is under a full season of Arteta. So not when he comes in halfway through the season. This is full seasons only. I didn't want to do the half because for me, it kind of, yes, he won the FA Cup, but the details of the way that we were playing, because obviously we were under two different managers, it's not a fair reflection. So I've done it literally totally under Mikel Arteta control. So this was the first proper windows. Obviously, this is 2020, 2021 season. These were the signings that we made, and they are the exits that we made. Now, these are first team exits only, nothing to do with academy or under 21s. This is literally just the first team. Right. So, obviously, we signed Thomas Partey for £44.6 million from Atletico Madrid. Gabriel was bought for £23.2 million. Now, this is actual transfer fees, by the way. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, we paid more than that." That's fine, but these are actual fees. Obviously, there would have been add-ons and stuff like that, but I don't really care about add-ons. Add-ons are just like putting sprinkles on top of an ice cream. So I go with proper money. Runnison bought from Dijon. As I said, there's going to be players that we won't want to remember about. Odegaard was brought in on loan for £2.4 million from Real Madrid. Matt Ryan came in on loan. Willian was a free, and Cedric was a free. So for the first season, we spent £86.2 million. Now, exits. Now, I'm going to explain the Martinez one. Now, Martinez obviously was sold to Aston Villa for £15.6 million. However, under PSR rules, the value of that sale was actually £62.4 million. So not just the 15.6, because he came through our academy, was there, I don't know, about 8 years or something. He was actually a PSR sale as well. So he was actually worth way more than that in terms of money we could have spent in that season. Guendouzi went on loan to Hertha Berlin. Mavropanos went to Stuttgart on loan. Torreira went to Atletico Madrid on loan. That was part of the party deal. Maitland-Niles went to West Bromwich Albion on loan. Saliba went to Nice on loan. Willock went to Newcastle on loan. Kolasinac went to Schalke on loan. Iliev went to Shrewsbury on loan. Mkhitaryan left for free. Mustafi left for free. Socrates left for free. Ozil left for free. And Macy left for free. So £17.1 million came in. But if you want to compare it with PSR value, £63.9 million. Now, so what I've done, I broke down each season in terms of what we spent total with outgoings, incomings as well. So 69.1 without the PSR value, 22.3 with PSR value. So we only spent £22 million technically in the first season. Let's quickly go see what Chris is saying. 3 points off safety. Morecambe lost a winnable game today. Tranmere drew. Accrington lost. We've got 3 games. We can get something in March. Other 3, absolutely no chance. We still have to play Morecambe and Accrington near the end of the season, which I must win. We've got Salford and finals though, so that's a win for us. We always beat them. Good. Too many people are judging F1 predictions on testing. Some are sandbagging, being using different fuels and compound tires. 2, we don't know till... Yeah, exactly. I never really pay much attention to the first... the testing. I never do. I keep an eye on it, but that's about it. So that's the first season. Now the second season, we brought in Ben White for £50.1 million. We've signed Odegaard on a permanent for £30.2 million. Ramsdale for £24.2 million. Tomiyasu was bought for £16.1 million. Lokonga was signed by Anderlecht for 15.1. Tavares, Benfica 6.9, and Trusty came in for 1.5 from Colorado Rapids. Now, outgoings. Willock went to Newcastle for £25.9 million. Now, obviously, there is a PSR value on that as well. That is £103.6 million that was worth. Torreira went to Fiorentina on loan, £1.3 million. Maitland-Niles went to Roma on loan for £127,000. Trusty went to Colorado Rapids on loan. Saliba went to Marseille on loan. Guendouzi went to Marseille on loan. Nelson went to Feyenoord on loan. Runarsson went to Leuven on loan. Bellerin went to Real Betis on loan. And Pablo Mari went to Udinese on loan. Kolasinac went to Marseille for free. David Luiz went to Flamengo for free. Willian went to Corinthians for free. Iliev went to Trenton for free. Aubameyang, Barcelona for free. And Chambers went to Aston Villa on free. So again, breakdown. We spent £144.1 million, brought in £27.6 million. PSR value was £105.3 million. So without the PSR value, we spent £116.9 million, but with PSR value came to £38.8 million. Next season, Jesus was brought for £44.4 million. Zinchenko was bought in for £29.9 million from Man City. Fabio Vieira came from FC Porto for £29.9 million. Trossard, £20.8 million. Kivior Spezia, £21.6 million. Jorginho came from Chelsea for £9.8 million. Turner came from New England Revolution for £5.4 million. And Marquinhos came from Sao Paulo for £3 million. So we spent £164.8 million that season. This was the season where we were very close. It was this window of PSR which pushed into the next season where we were a little bit at risk with falling outside the rules. We were close, but no cigar for them lot. Guendouzi left to Marseille for £9.4 million. Torreira went to Galatasaray for £4.3 million. Leno went to Fulham for £3.1 million. Mavropanos went to Stuttgart for £2.7 million. Pepe went to Nice on loan. Pablo Mari went to Udinese on loan. Lokonga went to Crystal Palace on loan. Marquinhos went to Fluminense on loan. Tavares went to Marseille on loan. Cedric went to Fulham on loan. Maitland-Niles went to Southampton on loan. Balogun went to Reims on loan. Trusty went to Birmingham on loan. Okonkwo went to Wrexham on loan. Runarsson went to Alanyaspor on loan, and Bellerin left for free to go to Barca, and Lacazette went to Lyon on a free. Right, so this one is a different one now. Obviously, we had no PSR value on this one, so it was £145.3 million. That is why we were very close to the PSR rules, and we had to be a little bit careful the following season, but we soon sorted that issue out. Right, let's just have a look, making sure we keep an eye on messages. But testing results are close to my predictions. Williams being fifth best car while preparing for 2026 relegations would be massive overachievement. Actually scary if that's them preparing. Yeah. Well, some names blast from, tell me about it. It's horrendous. This is why I'm using this as a therapy session. I still called out Barrow, calling them embarrassing for still failing to beat us at our worst. Science will get on the podium with a Williams. Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. On paper, yes, I still think they're preparing for 2026 regulations, so I don't expect Williams podium this season. I would love it. I absolutely would love it. I wonder how much we get for Yaya Tsunoda in transfer fees. Not a lot. My favourite teams are McLaren and Williams, as they are old school F1 teams. Yeah, same as me. Obviously, I just love Mercedes until they decide to go down the dark route, try and get Max. But no, I still like Mercedes for now. I love Toto. Right, let's move on to the next season. So this was the season that we brought in Declan Rice for £100.9 million. Havertz came in for 64.9 million pounds. Timber came from Ajax for 34.6 million pounds, and Raya was a £3 million loan. As you can see, that we had to be very careful with PSR, but we did help ourselves, and I'll explain why. because Balogun left to Monaco, go to Monaco for £26 million, but PSR value, it was £104 million. Xhaka left to Leverkusen for £21.6 million. Turner went to Forest for £7 million. Pablo Mari went to Monza for £4.2 million. Trusty went to Sheffield United for £5 million. Holding went to Crystal Palace for £1 million. Tierney went to Real Sociedad on a loan for £1 million. Tavares went to Nottingham Forest for £996,000 on loan. Marquinhos went to Nantes on loan, but also Fluminense on loan. And overall, I think this was the Nantes loan we got the money for, £260,000. Lokonga went to Luton on loan. Okonkwo went to Wrexham on loan. Runnison went to Cardiff on loan. Pepe went to Trabzonspor on a free, and Maitland-Niles went to Lyon on a free. So again, we spent £203.4 million this window, and £67.1 million was bought in. However, PSR value, it was £145.1 million. Again, broke it down. So technically, we spent £136.3 million that season. If you want to include the PSR value, we only spent £58.3 million. Right. So the final window. This is obviously obviously nothing happened in January, but plenty happened. Well, I wouldn't say plenty, but something happened in summer. We bought in Calafiori from Bologna for £37.3 million. We brought Marino in from Real Sociedad for £26.5 million. Raya came from Brentford for £26.4 million. Sterling, Chelsea loan. Neto loan, spent £90.2 million. Okay, outgoing. Smith Rowe, Fulham, £26.4 million. PSR value for him was £105.8 million. Nketiah went to Crystal Palace for £24.6 million. PSR value was £98.2 million. Ramsdale went to Southampton for £17.7 million. Fabio Vieira went to FC Porto on loan for £700,000. Nelson went to Fulham on loan. Tavares went to Lazio on loan. Obviously, there's a lot more information on the Tavares. Obviously, it's going to be made a permanent, and we've also got a sell-on clause. There's a lot going on with Tavares, and we probably get a good substantial amount of money for him as well, because it looks like he's going to be sold by Lazio as well. So Marquinhos, Cruzeiro went on loan. Hein went to Valladolid. I can never say their name. Loan. Lokonga went to Seville on loan. Cedric left finally to go to Sao Paulo. Okonkwo went to Wrexham on a free, and El Neni signed for Al Jazeera on a free. Right, so we spent £90.2 million. Bought in £69.4 million. PSR value, though, £222.4 million. This one is a lot more interesting. Right, so technically, we only spent 20 million this season, 20.8 million to be precise. However, when you include the PSR value, we actually made a profit of £132.2 million, which we can use this summer on top of whatever else we can afford to spend. So it's looking very good for this summer. That's a positive. See, positives. There are positives in this show. Right. But what I've also done over the whole 5 seasons of Arteta, he has spent, now this is not including PSR values, I've done that as a separate, £488.4 million. With PSR value, we have only spent £132.5 million in 5 seasons. But we still haven't got a striker. Right, let's have a look. Chris, same with me. McLaren and Williams always had great cars and drivers. Totally agree, BX. McLaren caused this, yeah, exactly. Drove for them, and Williams for Sir Frank. Definitely. Don't understand. Right. So the PSR value, when they've come through your academy, their value when you sell them is 4 times basically the amount that you sell them for. And you can use that because they're your academy products, you get a bonus. They don't talk about it in the media. I don't know why. They use different words. They use complicated words. So all I call it is PSR value because it's a lot easier. So because we sold Smith Rowe and we sold Nketiah, we gained a hell of a lot of PSR value, which means we had a bigger amount of money. I think we had like 100, well, it was just over 200 million, but Deloitte came out and said that it was 182 something. And obviously, a lot of people trust Deloitte because they're the big finance people, but it was just over 200 million pounds in real, actual in the bank account. So, yeah. So with Balogun, because he came through our academy, he was a Hal End product. He classed as a PSR value sale, very much like Martinez was. Martinez was with us for quite a few years, I think about 8 or 9 years, something like that. Came through our academy. So again, he was worth a lot more money than what we sold him for. But people just don't talk about it because why would you? Why would you talk positive stuff? So yeah, sorry, Chris, I thought I've read that one. If judging on testing, McLaren are going to run away. Expected Mercedes and Ferrari toe to toe for second, Red Bull the fourth. Yes, Aston Martin can write this season off. Sauber, yes, they will. If they can't do that, yeah. If Lando and Oscar are up for a fight, they have to car to do it. But Ferrari look very dangerous, and I'm not talking Lewis. I'll start searching for a list of tongue-twisting foreign words for you. Please don't. I struggle with saying things. At least we're being ambitious. Kimmich would be a good signing. Well, at least this is exactly what I've said. At least that's the type of caliber player we're looking at, and there's a few others. There's a few youngsters which I think people will be going, why? Just trust what we're trying to do because it all does make sense eventually. It's going to be a very, very crazy summer. It's going to be exciting, but it's going to be crazy at the same time. Now, I wonder what Messi's PSR value would be if he had been sold by a Barca. Absolute crazy amount. Yeah. I think wasn't he at one point worth like 200 million quid, something like that. So he would have been worth 800 million, which would have actually solved Barca's problems. I think that's at some point, weren't they trying to sell him? Or wasn't someone trying to buy him for 200 million quid a few years ago? I'm pretty sure they were. Because UEFA have got the same, well, they've actually got better PSR rules than we do. But again, they still do the same way that we do it. So any academy product from across Europe, the value of that person is 4 times the amount. So with Messi, he probably would have been worth 800 million and would have solved the issues that Barca are having anyway. I agree Ferrari are very dangerous at messing it up. I've always said Mercedes would be interesting this year. See how Antonelli gets on, and finishing 4th last year gives them extra wind tunnel this year. My heart breaks seeing, trust me, Simba, big up to Simba. But yeah, I don't, I'm not enjoying it, I'll be honest. I'm enjoying it because he's playing for my French team, which I don't mind, but he should be in an Arsenal shirt. I've always said that. Either way, they had better not bring in 80. No, the 100% won't be happening. Promise you, I don't care what people are saying in the media. Jason is not going to be sporting director. Guarantee it. Right, let's get on with the nitty gritty. So we've got 3 different categories. We've got gameplay, defense, and attack. So there's quite a few slides for gameplay. I think there's 11 slides for gameplay, 6 slides for defense, and 12 for attack, because obviously that's the main bit, really, let's be honest. So I've gone over the 5 seasons and I've gone nitty gritty into it, and I've also got where we are within the league on each season. I just haven't written it on there. I have got it on a piece of paper, so I'm reading it off a piece of paper as well. Right, so we're going to start with average player rating. So this is obviously average player rating over the 38 games in the Premier League season. So The first season where we obviously finished 8th. Bear in mind, this is Arteta's full season, not just that first half season, because I don't feel that's a fair comparison. So 6.8 was the average player rating. We were 11th in the overall ratings of all 20 teams. We were 11th for that one. In 2021-2022 season, we were 7, and we were 5th. And we funny enough, we finished 5th. In the 2022-2023 season, 7.19. We were second ranked, and we finished second. In the 2023-2024 season, 7.18, so a little bit of a tiny drop off. We were ranked third, and we actually did finish second. Now, this season, so far, it's 7.09. Obviously, that can change. The 24-25 season, the stats can change because obviously we've still got games to play. However, we are ranked third. We are ranked second. We're ranked second in that one, and we are currently second. So kind of matches exactly how we're playing at the moment. Right, average possession. Now, this is quite an interesting one because you can see the drop off from the past 2 seasons where we did finish second. So the first season was 53.7%, 53%. Then we went up to 59.7%. Then 58.4%, and now we're down to 53.9% possession. Now, it's quite telling that the only way that we can play truthfully well is by bossing the possession. Now, I've seen many games this season, obviously, where we have bossed possession. We bossed it with 65% against Forest. We just couldn't score. You'll get into that when it gets to the attacking. Let's just have a quick look, see what people are saying. Seeing how Arsenal completely ruined this campaign, I have zero faith in anything changing next season. The new sporting director will change everything, I promise you that. Do you have an idea when we will appoint a sporting director, mate? I expect an announcement end of March, beginning of April. That's when I expect it to happen. Eubank Jr. and Ben had second press conference this week. Bobby was fun to watch. Eubank Jr. not letting Eddie Hearn talk, both of them back and forward. Eubank shotting him up, 2 egos clashing. Yeah, well, unsurprising, mate. To be honest, all I saw was a clip where I think hang on. Is his name? No, his name's not Chris, is it? Is his name Chris? Was it? No. The Eubank Jr. was talking to Nigel Benn, something to do with Nigel's hand being around Eubank Jr.'s throat or something. That's the only clip I've really seen this week. That's all I've really seen. So that was the average possession. So that's those 2 done. Accuracy in passes, again, we are pretty much always the same. So I always believe that when you're a top team, you have to be over 85%. 85% is the bare minimum for a top team. So obviously we had a bit of a drop off in 2021-2022 season with 83%. But what you'll notice also is the amount of passes. So the first season for 450.4, then it dropped to 401.4. Then it went up to 259.4. Then it was 481 last season. But in this season, it's only 416.2. It's a stat that is quite telling, if I'm honest. Now, move on to the long balls. So, obviously, these bottom stats will change because obviously the season hasn't finished before anyone jumps on me. We started trying to do the long ball at the beginning of Arteta's reign, 22.5, 20.8, then 22.2. Then we suddenly dropped to 19.1, but we still finished second. This season, it's only 17.6. Now, I don't understand why, because we do have Havertz who can hold the ball up. So I don't quite understand what's happening there, but it is, again, another telling stat. Then we've got fouls per match. Now, this is unfortunately a very, very big telling issue that we've got. Right. Like, I know everyone's going to say, oh, yeah, but Arsenal were punished unfairly, blah, 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 blah. Let's take away the referees. Let's take away the PMGO. Let's take away VAR. The facts are fouls per match. We started at 9.1, 9.6, 9.8, 10.3, 11.6. It's not good. We should not be doing these many fouls. I think I can probably. We were 20th in the first season, so that was like the lowest rating. 9.1 was like the lowest rating out of all 20 teams. Then with the 14th team, 17th team, 16th team. However, now we're 10th. We're 10th in the table of fouls per match. So that's a little bit concerning. Yellow cards, obviously the first season of Arteta, 47, then 60, then 52, then 62, and now 52, and we've not even finished the season yet. But it does look like we're possibly going to be the highest yellow cards we've ever had under Arteta, which is not good. It is. Okay, Chris Eubank. I can't remember his name for some reason. I don't know why. We've definitely regressed a bit this season. Injuries aside, we need to move the ball faster. Yeah, exactly. This is why this is quite an interesting show. When you just look at the little nitty-gritty parts of it, you kind of see where it's going wrong. Obviously, at the end, we'll talk about who I feel is to blame. I think it is definitely a shared blame. Spoiler alert. But I do feel that part of it is the majority of it has got to go on a specific someone. We'll talk about that at the end, though. Eubank Jr. So like, yeah, I hate his dad. Promotes fights, love winding up his opponents, then used egg detector on Junior for the second one because of him smashing. God, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. Right, let's look into red cards. It's not great. So 5 in the first season of Arteta. That was second highest. Then it was 4th, second highest. 0 in the 2022-2023 season. We were joint like 14th or something. There was quite a lot of teams that didn't get red card that season. Only got 2 last season. That put us 15th. There was quite a few red cards last season. This season we've already got 5, and we are top in the red card status. It's not great. Duels. Now this is a bit that I always find fascinating. So we should be a lot stronger than this. A lot stronger. We should be winning always over 50% of our duels, but we're not. And I don't know why. It feels like I wouldn't say we're totally weak. And I wouldn't say we'd like got a weak spine, but we're definitely not as strong as we believe we are. And the stats kind of back that up, if I'm honest. So 48.4 in the first season, 48.6 in the second season, 50.2 in the 2022-23 season, 49.7% in last season, and we're currently on 49.4 this season. So it's not awful, but it's not great. Tactically, Arteta, Ban, and Odegaard are the biggest culprits in the blame game. We'll get onto that. I promise you'll see some slides tonight where you'll just go, what the heck is going on there? Because trust me, in the attack one, there's definitely some extra information. Ground duels. Now, again, slightly alarming that we're not over 50% on all of these. So the first season was 49.6%, then it was 50.1, then it was 51.6. Then it was 49.4 last season. This season, it's only 48.8. So it's the worst season in 5 for ground duels. I don't know why. I don't know what's gone on because we haven't really changed our personnel much. So I don't really see. I know Odegaard's been a big culprit of this. He doesn't win as many ground duels as he should. I can't remember. There's another one. Zinchenko was quite bad. Martinelli was bad as well. There's a few on the pitch that has affected these stats. Thomas Partey does really well. But yeah, there's definitely a few culprits that lower the stats there. Aerial duels, to be fair, we're improving. We're improving. Obviously, we've got a lot of height now, so you can see that our team is getting taller, and it's harder for them to win aerial duels, which is why we're now on 51.2%. And the final one for gameplay is possession lost. So we haven't really lost possession as much this season. However, it's not like we're doing much with it. That's the problem. Eubank Jr. now has billboards of him around London smashing Ben with eggs, saying Easter had not cheese. He is such a. Honestly, yeah, flipping heck. City wins. Unfortunately, Tim, he does not. Let's get into the slides for the defence. Now, there's only 6 of these, so I won't bore you for too long, because to be fair, this is where we excel. So, goals conceded per match in Arteta's first season was 1 per game. Then it was 1.3. That's where we finished 5th. 1.1, then 0.8, and we're on 0.9. That's really good stats, I'll be honest. That is where we definitely excel is in defence. Clean sheets, 12, 13, 14, 18, 10. We've still got, 11 games left. That number will probably get a little bit higher. Probably won't be anywhere near as good as last season, but they are great stats. This is, again, another positive. I think defensively we are really, really good. XG conceded 43.3 in the first season, then 46.5, then 42.5, then 28.4 last season, and we're on 23.1. So I kind of expect that to go probably close to 30, early 30s, I reckon, by the end of the season. But still not too bad. Would prefer to be a little bit better, but still not too bad. Interceptions, probably one of our best seasons for interceptions, 6.4. So it's compared to 2 seasons ago. So again, not too bad. Successful tackles. We're getting. This is where it gets confusing. We're not winning as many duels, but when we do tackles, we are excelling. And now you could probably think of Lewis Skelly, Gabriel, Saliba, Thomas Partey, Declan Rice have all done fantastic tackles. Timber's done some fantastic tackles. So again, defensively, we are so good. So now we just have to improve in the final third, which you'll see very clearly in a minute. Saves per match. So it's 2.5, 2.6, 2.5. Only 1.4 last season. You can see how Raya got 18 clean sheets. And this season it's 2.4 so far. Right. Instead of pinning Zinni, why not deploy him in the 8? He's actually a good midfielder. I wonder what goes on in Arteta Pan's head. Zinni will be sold this summer. There's no easy way of me saying it. 17 million and he's yours. Yeah, he will leave this summer. He is definitely on the chopping block. So I expect him to leave. Do we get 17 million quid? Probably not, but that's what we're asking for. So I probably expect 14, 15 million quid and he'll be gone. Mainly because we have other ideas at number 8. So Zinni has to go. And rightly so. Also, the wage that he's on as well is ridiculous. So, yeah. Right. Oh, hang on. One more before I move on to the attack. I love Chris Eubank Jr. for his showmanship, selling his fight, being great promoter, talker, wind-up merchant. He's better in terms of his boxing ability, nowhere near father level. Yeah, as much as I don't agree with Chris Eubank Senior, he was a good boxer. I just didn't like him. He just annoyed me. Right. Goals per match. Here we go. This is where it gets painful. Right. So the first season was 1.4, 1.6, 2.3, 2.4, and just the 1.9 this season. XG in attack 42.2 in Arteta's first season, 62.7, then 73.6, then 77.4 last season and only 43.4. I'll explain. There'll be more reasons in a minute. Right, shots on target in Arteta's first season, it was 4. Now, to put that in perspective, where is it? That is the 12th best rating in the league. Then it was 5.2. That was the 5th. 5.4. That was the 5th. And last season it was 6 per game, and that was 3rd. This season it's 4.8, and we are the 9th best team at shots on target. So yeah, big chances missed. Oh, this is painful. So 32 in the first season. That put us 17th. So that's really good. You want to be low on that one. You don't want to be high. Then it was 42. That would put us 6th. Then 50. That put us 8th. 63 last season. 7th. It kind of tells you, like, because the numbers are going up, we're not really going up in the table. It kind of tells you, like last season, a lot of chances were missed. But this season, which is the most alarming for all of us, is 52 so far. Obviously, we haven't finished the season, so there's going to be more big chances missed. We are currently 4th out of 20 for big chances missed. Tells you everything you need to know. Crosses. This is the highest we've ever been in crosses under Arteta, which is a little bit, I don't know how to put it, surprising, I suppose, because I love crosses, but I suppose we've never really had the height. Now, obviously, we've got Havertz, we've got Marino, we've got a lot of tall players, Gabriel, Saliba, White when he's fit. So we've got a lot of height now. We've got some players that can actually put the crosses in. Ranieri, Martinelli, Calafiori, Saka. We've got a lot of players that we can put crosses in. So when it comes to ratings, we are currently 2nd in out of 20 for the most crosses we do per match. Now, the lowest we've ever been was when it was 3.6, which was 2 seasons ago. And we were 16th on that. Big chances per match. Now, we started at 1.7, then 1.8, then jumped up to 2.6, then 3, and now we are 3.1. And that is, let's just find out. There's no ratings on that one. Yeah, some of these ones, there aren't actually like a big table. I'd have to literally go into every single team's information pot, and I'll be honest, I cannot be bothered. But it's not too shabby, 3.1. But again, we're not putting those chances away. But we do have 3.1 big chances per game, and we're not scoring them. Goal conversion rate. Now, we've never been fantastic. We should always be over 20%. For a top team, you need to be over 20%. If I can find my phone, I'll see what Man City's is. But we were 12% in the first season. Then it was only 10%. 10% goal conversion. Horrendous, isn't it? Then 15, then 14, then 14 this season. So I'm just trying to look up Man City's goal conversion rates. See if I can find it quickly. There we go. So Man City this season are only on 12%, 14% last season, 16%. So even Man City, when it comes to goal conversion, it's not high. Trying to think of someone else. Liverpool. Let's try Liverpool. Surely someone should be over 20. Just give me 2 secs. I'm just going to quickly look up. Why has that come up? Why did Liverpool not exist? There we go. So Liverpool this season are 14%, 11% last season, 12% before that. So comparing it to like the top teams, goal conversion rate isn't too bad, really. So yeah, this season we've lost all our attackers. You could have replaced big chances missed with Jesus and Havertz, and we'd all understand. 3.1 big chances, but Havertz is up front. Yeah. Well, this is where I will go a little bit crazy on some people because I've heard a lot of hate towards Martinelli, and I don't understand it personally. Right. So the top goal scorer in the 2020-2021 season was Lacazette on 13. 2021-2022 season was Saka with just 11. Martinelli was on 15 2 seasons ago, but all of a sudden everyone just wants him out because he's rubbish. They forget 2 seasons ago he was our top goal scorer. Saka was top goal scorer last season with 16, and Havertz is on 9. Now, it's obviously a shame that he's out for the rest of the season now, because I do believe that he would have beaten Saka's number, in my opinion. So that's quite a shame. Most assists, Willian was back 5 seasons ago with 5. Then it was Saka with 7, Trossard with 12, Odegaard with 10 last season, and Saka, obviously, he will be back. I just don't know when, but he's currently got 10, but no one's anywhere near him, if I'm honest. Right, goals inside the box. So we scored 50 goals inside the box in the first season. Then 50 again the following season, then 75, then 80, and this season 43. So we're kind of matching, kind of getting there. This is the alarming bits. These are the alarming bits, I'll be honest. Goals outside the box, 3 in the first season, then 10, then 9, then 6, then 6. Now, bear in mind, outside the box is literally just outside the penalty area. So it's not even like ridiculously far. It's 20 yards. But yeah, 6. Unbelievable. We're literally trying to walk it in the net every single time. Free kick goals. We've had 3 in the last 5 seasons. 2 in the first season, 1, and we've not had any. But also, what's really, really concerning more is if you look at the amount of chances we've had. So in the first season, with 23 attempts direct on free kicks, then 22, then 16. Last season, only 6. So we're obviously constantly trying to cross the ball, and only 4 this season. It's ridiculous. Yet Willian was the highest assist taker in the first season under Arteta. So yeah. So they are all the slides. Now, this is the bit that we need to discuss. Right. I personally think the style of Arteta is what's affecting us. Now, obviously we need a striker. We all know this, but Arteta has never been convinced that an actual full-out striker is what we needed. What he has wanted is Isak. Obviously, Isak has been unavailable. But the bit that annoys me about Isak is when he was available, when he moved to Newcastle, Arteta didn't want him. But because he succeeded at Newcastle, he now wants him, even though he now costs other £100 million on top of what he would already cost in the first place. So, yeah. Also trying to convince everybody that Havertz is the man to go up front. That is a big no-no. What else have we got? We've got the fact that he constantly uses Odegaard as an attacking midfielder when currently, if everyone's being very honest and very truthful to themselves, he's not the man right now. When he was out, injured earlier in the season, we never played Ranieri. Temi, totally agree, mate. Totally agree. Thank you very much, mate. I've tried to be as reasonable. Look, thankfully, Arsenal have not played today, so they haven't peed me off. Because I'll be honest, this would be a really bad stream if Arsenal would actually play today. And to know I had to do this, there'd be a lot of Fs. But there's not, because I'm kind of relaxed. Arsenal have not played. So yeah, Arteta has got to take a lot of the blame. However, not all of it. Now, obviously we've looked at all the signings. You know, majority of those are what Arteta wanted. And Arteta is very fixated on the type of players he wants at his club, which I get, you know, but you do kind of have to be a little bit open-minded. Like Boniface was available. We knew how much he was worth. We could have literally spent that money. But I suppose in his head, it would have ruined the plans for the summer. But I don't see why we can't have two strikers, personally, of that that level. Now, obviously, we'll talk about the summer when we get closer to it, where we'll talk about the type of strikers we're looking at. But we'll wait till the summer for that one. Temi's also right. We didn't replace Xhaka. What we replaced Xhaka with was a Merino. That has not worked at all. So now this summer we have to look at something else again. I hope he's going to get it right. The players that I know that we're looking at, for me, it feels right as long as we can get him. Because obviously it's all well and good you wanting someone, but it doesn't mean you can just go and get him. The Kroenkes don't curb Arteta's excesses with regards to obsession with. Well, we'll get onto KSC in a minute because I am going to put a little bit of blame on KSC. Right, let's move to Edu. Now, Edu, obviously, we all know why he left, right? There is no two ways. I'm not going to protect Arteta from that. You know, Edu he didn't go out hard on it, but he did say that, you know, can't get the players that I suggest. What's the point of me being there? Fair dues. Totally right. You know, it is ridiculous because Arteta's not the sporting director. He's a manager. But the situation that he put us in where Jason would have to step up in January did not help us. Now, Jason did a very good job in January. He worked extremely hard, got a couple of deals, you know, that were offered to Arteta, and Arteta just wasn't keen on them. That's fine. Where I will blame KSE is personally, they should have not listened to advice from Wenger when Wenger said that Arteta is the man that you guys need. That is where we should not have listened to him. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go, Arteta hasn't done anything for this club. He has done something for this club. And not all of it I agree with, but he has done a decent job. Decent. You know, he's not entertained me. He's not given me any great memories, but he's done a decent job, right? You know, we are a big club. You know, he's got us continuously challenging over the last two seasons, not this one, for the title. But he should not have gone that route. They should never listen to Wenger, in my opinion. But yeah. Also, don't want Mavericks, the players that when you he doesn't. The fact he doesn't want people that want to upset they don't want to upset the dressing room, but they're people that are just hard to control. It's always a case of it's my way and that's it. And sometimes you need players that just fight back. Not like physically fight. Just go, no, boss, I don't think that's right. You kind of need that sometimes. You need kind of your eyes wide open a little bit and just go, oh, okay, what's your opinion on this then? Listen to the player and then carry on. But yeah, exactly, Bob. All good wanting someone. It's like you don't mean, yeah, exactly. It's ironic that Arteta's only trophy was won by Maverick or Bamian, but somehow he didn't realise the need for the eggs. 100%, mate. When you mention KFC, keep thinking fast food. No, it's KFC, mate. Yeah, sorry, it's just the way I speak. I do apologise. But yeah, so KSE have to take part of the blame there because I just don't think Arteta was the right man. I've got no issues with going for youth, and I don't have an issue with going for a younger, slightly inexperienced coach. But for me, Arteta was too inexperienced. He was number 2 to Pep. That is it. That is literally nothing. in football world. You have to have some experience to come into such a big club like Arsenal. And then you've also got to be able to cope with the Patrick Vieiras, the Aubameyangs, the Lacazettes, the Ozils. You've got to be able to cope with those type of players, because those are the type of players you need in your dressing room when everything is going wrong. Because they'll do something stupid, they'll do something funny that just gets the best out of your players. Now, final blame. I'm sorry. I really do apologise. And please don't pass this on to Moss, but I have to blame Odegaard. The reason I'm blaming Odegaard is because from my captain, and as everyone knows, I was a captain in the British Army, so I feel that I can speak about this, is you need proper leadership. And I don't feel that Martin Odegaard has the leadership skills that can push this team when we're down. And if anything, sometimes he's the one that is the worst player on the pitch. Sometimes he doesn't even turn up. He technically is there, but he's not putting in the hard yards. He's not. I've seen him do some really strange decision making with his runs. I've seen him literally tell other players to move whilst he's doing nothing. And for me, that's just wrong. That's like me saying, okay, U12, go and take that building down, and there's me sitting behind a brick wall having a sandwich. Like, come on. You've got to show some balls. You've always got to show some balls when you're a captain. And for me, Odegaard is that. That is what Odegaard did. For me, he's not captain material. I still don't think he can be removed. I still don't think he can be. I think it will cause an issue. We've got two other players in our first team that I think would be perfect, Gabriel and Declan. I don't think Saka quite has that oomph, about him. But I think Declan Rice and Gabriel does, personally. But yeah. So, yeah, I know it's a bit of a strange... Yeah, you're the same as me, Tim. So Carlo and Luke Armstrong to Mother now scoring goals for fun and scored it in Motherwell. Yeah, thanks for that one. I'm a Rangers fan. But yeah, Rangers are in a mess as well, mate. To be honest, most of my teams aren't doing very well this season. Dortmund aren't doing very well. Rangers are having an absolute mare. Arsenal are just having a mare now. So yeah, I'm having a painful season, if I'm honest, when it comes to my teams. Gabriel, yeah, I have no issues with Gabriel or Rice, to be honest. I don't know if people noticed against Forest, it did feel like that Declan was doing more of the captain talk than Odegaard was when they're having their little huddles or in groups of twos or threes and fours. It felt like Declan was doing more of the talking, which I found very fascinating personally. Can anyone win the league in Scotland apart from Rangers and Celtic? To be fair, at the beginning of this season, Aberdeen were doing extremely well. And then they've just had a fall off. Can they? If they strengthen wisely, yeah. Hibs have pushed teams quite far in the past. Hearts, they can. But obviously the big financial power is behind Celtic and Rangers. And obviously Rangers are going through a process as well now. So they'll have a big influx of money. But to be honest, if I was a billionaire, I'd probably buy Hibs or Hearts or Aberdeen and put some good money behind them. And I'll be honest, you could quite easily challenge Celtic and Rangers if you tried to. Yeah, oh Christ, yeah. Jesus, that's one hell of a story, isn't it? That's a proper history lesson. We'll have to do that one day. But guys, I try to go as fair as possible. I don't feel that I've been too mean. I feel I was quite rounded with my opinions there, but I do feel that it is a multiple amounts of people to blame. I do feel Arteta has to take the majority of the blame, especially this season, because all he had to do was just get a striker in. If you can't get your first two options, then go start listening to the data team, start listening to the scout team, start listening to Edu, and well, I tried not to be, because I see a lot of people that do go too aggressive and too toxic, and you just have to be true to yourself and go, at the end of the day, I want what's best for Arsenal. And you can either just go, I hate everything, or try and look at the positives. And the positives that I can take from this, from doing all the little bits of information that I've done tonight, is defensively, we are sound. We need to improve on the ground jewels and just get a striker in, literally. Just get that. For me, we get a striker in the summer, then come back to me in December time, and then I'll have a conversation about, is it seriously all going wrong again? England should be Scottish. Oh, Jesus Christ, Deb. God. We are not going down this rabbit hole. I can promise you that. Especially me. I'm definitely keeping out of that. Jesus. Right. I will be back Tuesday. Because obviously we've got PSV game Tuesday. With the preview, I think I'm probably going to do it about 4:30, like I normally do. Just try and get it done. But yeah, I will speak to everybody really soon. But thank you for listening. If you have watched this back on playback, let me know your thoughts on the hard truth and all the different details. It's quite eye-opening, I'll be honest. Obviously, some of the stuff I didn't even know until I literally did the breakdown. So yeah, I found it quite fascinating. But guys, I'm out of here. Take it easy. Enjoy your weekend, and I shall see you very soon. And we'll leave it on that. If my aunt was my uncle. Exactly. Thank you, Chris. Speak to you later. Take it easy, everyone. Bye-bye.